Well, hello there. If you're joining us at the top of the hour, you know exactly what's happening. We are having a special series this month, 30 Teens, 30 Dreams, Destination University. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, founder of Dream College Academy and College Essay Bootcamp. And you are in for a treat today. As I've said, every single day we are interviewing someone new, someone who's a senior in high school, who the month of April, every senior knows this is the month where they're deciding on where they're going to college, where they're going to land to be a freshman, class of 2025. Well, this young woman, Julie has known actually for a long time where she's headed because she was a recruited athlete. So it's no surprise. We'll start off by sharing and celebrating with her as to where she's headed. But I can't wait for her to tell you her story and her journey about what it means to be recruited and what it means to go to one of the oldest colleges in the country. So if you are a college-bound teen or a champion of one, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And thank you so much for helping me cheer on Julie today. So Julie, are you there? Let's do a sound check. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, awesome. Julie was a sporty, fun person when she was in camp. And so I love that you're just like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Okay, awesome. Well, I have 5 questions, but usually we reveal at the end, but it's no surprise. But so let's just start by sharing, some people may not even know the name of your college and where it is. So go ahead, reveal to the world where you're headed next year.
Okay, well, I will be going to Wellesley College next fall, which is in the city of Wellesley, which is maybe 30 minutes away from Boston. So it's in Massachusetts, but it's very close to Boston.
Okay, and Wellesley is an all-women, I got my little party hat. Wellesley is an all-women's college, and it's known as one of the 7 sister colleges. Can you share with our viewers and listeners, what does that mean?
So the 7 sister colleges were founded as before women were allowed to go to schools and before they were co-ed, like at Harvard. So Wellesley was like a sister school of Harvard where women were allowed to go there instead of being co-ed with them. And so there's 7 of them, such as I think like Barnard, Mount Holyoke, and like all like other colleges. And so they're called historically women's colleges now, since people can enroll in classes who are not women. So, but it's a historically women's college.
Okay, I love it. And those of you who've been following me for a while, you might know that I used to work at Vassar College, which is also one of the historically women's colleges. It's one of the 7 sister schools. It's co-ed now, but Wellesley is all women's, although other students can take there. So, okay. All right, well, we leveled the playing field. And in spirit of women's colleges, when I was at Vassar, I think I told you this, at 3 o'clock, they would have tea in the Rose Parlor every day without fail. So I thought, since it's 3 o'clock now, I thought I should get my tea as well. It's 3 o'clock, at least here on Pacific Coast. So, okay, so here are the 5 questions. The first question is, the traditional question is, where did you apply and how did you come up with that list? But for you, it's how and when did you start to, I don't know what the word is, I guess, find out and form relationships with different colleges for your sport?
Okay, so I started playing lacrosse when I was in 4th grade. So I started young, but I didn't really get into playing club, which is how I really developed wanting to go and learning that I wanted to play in college, maybe when I was in 8th grade. So I started when I was very, very young. And so that's where the journey began. But it really doesn't ramp up until you're probably a freshman and sophomore, where you really get to understand. And I used to go to tournaments every weekend, and college coaches would come and look at you. And lacrosse is very different, and they changed the rules for the NCAA, where you're only allowed to reach out to colleges, allowed to really talk to colleges your junior year, September 1st of your junior year. So that's when you can start a direct contact with them. So it was very different. It was very much like a waiting game, seeing just having them come to your games as a freshman and sophomore, but not being able to talk to them.
And did you form relationships, or did you, in freshman, sophomore year, I imagine you, I think that they call it like you fill out different athletic questionnaires and sort of kind of get on their radar. So did you reach out to, or get on their radar to like 10 schools or like to 50 schools?
So I had a very broad reach of like where I wanted to go. I was open to any idea of like any school. And so what you would do is that you send out emails anytime you would have a tournament. You send out emails to the college coaches that you want to come to your games. And so I used to email about maybe 20 to 30 coaches, like a broad range of coaches that I wanted. And so, cause I didn't narrow my list down to maybe like my junior year, sophomore year, but I was open to the possibility. But you send out emails and you send out like highlight reels of yourself, and you send them like the times of when you're going to play on these fields.
Okay, cool. Now on the slide, it says, if you didn't catch it, Julie is from Florida. So did you, I'm assuming you sort of had when you say a range of schools, do you mean geographic range, or do you mean, just for the sake of people who don't know what that means, like, Wellesley is a small liberal arts college. There are large flagship, public flagship institutions. There are, private, medium size. So when you say range for you, what does that mean?
Range was either between public and private universities, and in range of locations. So like here, like UF is like a big, but like there's other small schools here like Miami, which is like a more public. So it was a range of size and location of where the colleges were.
I like that you were so open, because and started early, because you don't have to narrow it down, and then you kind of see. Okay, so the second question is all about sort of just we've spent a lot of time talking about your athletic piece, but maybe now shed some light on what you did right while you were honing your athletic skill and trying to get recruited. What were you doing academically to be really prepared for this process?
So academically, that was another portion of it. I was looking more into the highly academic schools, because I personally want to be on the pre-med track. So that's also what was in my criteria for a school. So on the other hand, I was doing like ACT prep. I kept up with all my AP courses. I volunteered. I just kept my grades up consistently while going to all these tournaments, because it's also so hard to get under your like classwork when you're going to tournaments and playing every weekend. You just have to keep up with it and make sure your grades are staying okay, because another aspect of college coaches do not want people who are not academically focused, because that's like a whole other aspect of like, if you can stay in like a rigorous college, like even if you're good at playing the sport, you still have to have the other aspect of yourself of being able to keep on going to classes.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because it's really, in general, we talk about, you have to have an academic fit and a personal fit. And for many families, they also need a financial fit. But for you, it also, the other piece was the athletic fit. And given the competitive nature of Wellesley, the coaches want to know that you not only can play for them, but you can survive at the rigors of the institution, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so question number 3 is about what is your coolness factor? And your coolness factor, of course, is lacrosse. And so you can maybe share a little bit more about that. But did you have anything else that you would say, like, was something that you just love to do, maybe your pre-med or anything else that sort of falls under like what makes you unique?
So and also while playing lacrosse, I also I volunteered at a local cancer center, and I used to give like cookies and like assortments to all the patients. I was in the band for 4 years. I do band, I play percussion. So I also played in the band, and also I played basketball along with lacrosse as a varsity athlete at my school also. So I have those other range of aspects of myself.
Okay, you just blew my mind right now. Okay, so between band and lacrosse, did they overlap? did lacrosse overlap with like another, like band and other things? Like how
Yeah,
many?
like for concerts and stuff, I would have to like rush over to concerts, or it was just hard finding time, like when to practice. So that was also very difficult. It was like finding time in my weekend to practice for all the pieces. But it was very difficult, but it was worth it.
It was worth it. Now, I'm just going to push you on that. Why do you say it was worth it? Because that is a lot of hours a week on top of schoolwork. And go ahead. You know, one of the regrets people have is they say, I wish I would have done more. I don't think that's your regret. So because you're saying it was worth it, why do you say that?
I think because I became a more structured person. I learned time management skills from either scheduling out my day and knowing like when I have time to do certain things throughout my weekend and throughout my day. And I think I just became a very structured person, knowing my limits and what I can do. So it helped me.
Yeah, you're going to be well prepared for the rigors of Wellesley and balancing everything. Okay, so the fourth question is the question that maybe, I don't know if you have one, but what is your regret? Is there anything that you regret, anything that you would do differently, any advice you have for others?
One thing I would say that I regret is the amount of comparison I did with other people, because I think that is one of my like flaws, is that I was very much comparing my process to other people's processes, and I think that was maybe a little bit detrimental to like my overall thinking of myself, and just like how like where I was compared to other people, even in the recruiting process, like where I was compared to other people. And I think that you just have to think about like where you are yourself and not worry about all the other people.
Look how much you've grown and matured. That's such a good advice. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then the last question is the reveal. We started with that. So just walk us back. How and when did you start narrowing down your list? And then go ahead and share how you decided upon Wellesley and what the timeline was for that.
Got it. Okay. So I narrowed down my list probably at the second semester of my junior year. And that's when COVID hit, which was pretty bad. But I narrowed down my list. I really wanted East Coast schools, and I wanted something in the like New England area. So that's what I like was very much like guiding myself towards. So then I sent out emails and reels of myself playing lacrosse to those certain schools. And so I narrowed it down to there. But with the pandemic, I really didn't get to play in any tournaments during the summer. So it was all about email and staying in contact with those people during the summer. So that was like very crucial. And then that's when it started to narrow down. And I decided that also another thing was just like the academic portion, and what I reached out to the coaches, since they were allowed to talk to me, asking about how many girls that they have on their team that were on the pre-med track, had the major that I had, like if they were able to do it with their sport.
Wow, that was a lot. So you couldn't do tournaments in the summer because of COVID, but it sounds like the key for you was just staying in contact. And so at the end of the day, was it the coach and did you meet the other young women on the team? Because I'm assuming you applied early decision.
Yes, I did. Yes.
So just before deciding to apply early decision, which for those of you who are listening and watching going, what is that? It means that she applied in November 1st or 15th, and it's binding. If she got in, it meant that she was that was it. That was all she wrote. So just before deciding that was where you were going to put, all your eggs, so to speak, what was the deciding factor? Was it the kindness? Was it what was it?
First of all, I reached out. They got me in contact with one of the athletes on the team. That was one of the major things, talking about like her schedule, why she loved Wellesley, and also just talking with the coach, like many phone calls with her, just seeing like what her program was like, what the team was like stood for. And that was what like got me deciding to go to Wellesley. It was just the overall atmosphere and the mindset of my coach.
So good. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to spend, 4 years on a particular campus, and in your case, with a team and a coach. So excellent. So when you were doing essay camp, you didn't know yet you were going to apply early, right?
No, I had no idea. So I was getting ready to apply to like a ton of colleges. I was writing all my essays. I still had no idea because I maybe decided in August and I did it in July or June, the camp. So I was not prepared. I was ready to write all these essays, but it only came down to like, they only had one supplemental, which was so nice, but it was really nice. But I was so prepared, and the essay camp really helped me getting my like groove to like even just start writing, because I know I would have procrastinated not to do that but I really got all my essays in, and it was really helpful to not be lagging behind in September, having my counselor like nag me for essays.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like you have a pretty busy schedule, so I can't imagine you having to do all of that on top of going to school and all of your other things. Okay, so just for the record, the 7 sisters, let's see if we can name them all, just so people can know. And actually, there was another recruited athlete from essay camp. She's headed to Mount Holyoke. She's going to be a diver, so she was one of our interviews a few days ago. But there is Radcliffe and Vassar are no longer single gender institutions. Okay, mm-hmm. So then the other 5 are Wellesley and Mount Holyoke. We've named
Smith. Yeah, Barnard is one of them. I think
there's another B.
Bryn Mawr. Yes, Bryn Mawr.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. So those are the 7, you guys. So those young women who are watching, or parents of highly motivated and successfully oriented young women, it is something to look at. Do you know some of the famous alums from Wellesley?
I know that Madeleine Albright went there and Hillary Clinton both went there.
That's right. That's right. Excellent. Okay, Julie, hang tight. Let me do the wrap up, and then we'll wave goodbye to our viewers and listeners. Well, you can see what a top rock star scholar that is. Julie, I'm so excited for you. Okay, if this episode has fueled your confidence or helped build your dreams, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. If you are watching still, parents, please join us on the Facebook group Destination YOUniversity, where all our parents of college-bound teens get the insider scoop. You can also, if you want to learn more about this college admission process, it's never too early to get some tools and some strategies and just some thoughts and some behind the scenes truths. So I'll pop this link in the comments so you can take a look there. You can follow us this whole entire season, or this whole entire series, on Facebook. They're also on IGTV, and then will be posted on YouTube in June as well. Tomorrow, you're going to meet Ashley. Ashley hails from Southern California, from a Catholic school, and she's been admitted to a wide range of institutions with over $1 million in merit scholarships. So tomorrow you'll find out if she's headed to one of the schools where she's at pretty much full tuition and aid, or if she headed somewhere else. And she's also been recruited for some schools. So it is a wild search for Ashley. So stay tuned and see where she chooses. Thank you so much to the entire team that makes this happen. It takes a village. So thank you, team, so much for your patience in this episode, these episodes. All right, Julie, super, super proud of you. I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan of the all women's, the 7 sister schools. I liked to pretend when I was at Vassar that I could live in that rose parlor. So you're going to have many, many parlors to have some really great studying time and make friendships. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, and so long for now, everyone. Bye.